Hello board game brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode where I'll be letting you know of Kickstarters launching this week. First things first, we had a couple of contests last week, and I'm going to be using this website here to randomly select a winner, and all I have to do is put the keyword in for the contest that we ran. So by the vote was BTV, and I asked a question for this one, and that was, what was the first game that you would play in the Oval Office if you were president? And you might notice some of these names down below, and these are automatic entries that are granted to my Patreon subscribers. They get automatically entered into these contests, and depending on the pledge level, they're going to get a certain amount of entries. And this is just a little way that I want to show my thanks for anyone that joins my Patreon. It's a really great way to give back to the channel, and I appreciate all of you so much. And with that said, let's draw a winner and see who it is. And it looks like the winner is My Kritters, and he says he would play 𝗚𝗚𝗃 because it's his favorite game and he always wants to play it. I can't think of any better reason than that. Just reach out to me at adam@shelfclutter.com and we'll get this sorted out and get you signed up for a pledge. And for the next contest for vinyl, the keyword was just vinyl, and my question was, what was an album pre-90s that you think deserves some more love? So let's just grab those comments and see who the winner is here. And it looks like our winner is Justin W. Clyburn. It took me a second to realize why there wasn't a comment with this one, but that's because it was actually one of the extra entries from one of my Patreon subscribers. So looks like the system works. Congratulations, Justin. I'll reach out to you and let you know that you've won yourself a Kickstarter version of vinyl. For everyone else, make sure you leave a comment down below congratulating our winners, and don't feel too bad if you didn't win this week because I have another contest for you to announce, and this is for another copy of vinyl. And this is another vinyl gold edition pledge from the original campaign, and this is going to include the standard stretch goals, the gold stretch goals, the Kickstarter exclusive swing genre, and the top shelf expansion. And for this contest, we'll do the same thing, just leave a comment down below, but this time let's put the keyword #vinyl and leave me a comment letting me know of a song that you like to listen to that's pre-90s and helps you get pumped up. For me, I think that would be Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. It's really awesome of these publishers to donate some pledges, so make sure to show them some love and at least check out their Kickstarter pages. I'll leave some links in the description below. And if you are a publisher and you're willing to donate a pledge, make sure to reach out to me and I'll let everyone know on one of these upcoming videos. For anyone new to the channel, I release these videos each week and I cover Kickstarters that are upcoming in the next 7 days. I also release the occasional deep dive video focusing on a single campaign, and I also release some painting tutorials as well. If this is something you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you've watched my videos a few times and you haven't subscribed yet, definitely consider it because the more subscribers I can get, the more opportunities will arise where I can offer more giveaways and other content. And with that said, let's check out the Kickstarters. And the first couple I have for you I actually released this weekend, which is pretty rare for Kickstarters. And the first one is called Get Stuffed, and it's a competitive card game that plays 2 to 6 players and takes about 10 to 45 minutes to play. And in this game, players are different elves and they're competing to try and complete their Christmas list before everyone else. And the way that this game works is that there's 2 decks. There's the stocking room deck, and this contains all the items that you're looking for to try and complete your list. And there's the help yourself deck, which grants you some different one-time use abilities and actions to help you along the way. There's going to be a few cards on the table, 3 that are face down and 2 that are face up, and this is called the conveyor belt. And these cards are all going to be coming from the stocking room deck. On a player's turn, they can take 1 action from their help yourself cards if they have any to play, and then they can choose any card from the conveyor belt and add it to their hand. At the end of the turn, they take another help yourself card from the deck. This game incorporates trading, take that, set collection, racing, and player elimination. The first player to complete their list wins the game. And the second campaign that was launched this weekend is called Samurai Brothers, and it plays 2 to 6 players and takes 20 to 40 minutes to play. And in this game, you're going to be drafting different cards at the start of the game to try and build up your dojo and define your team. You're also going to be adding your sensei to your dojo, and this is going to help you increase your attack and defending powers. And there's actually 2 ways to win this game. You can either win the game by defeating all your opponents, or you can win the game by collecting different heirlooms throughout the game. Heirlooms can also heal your team and give you a one-time use ability that you can use anytime. You'll be able to steal heirlooms and recruit ninjas from other dojos in order to help you win the game. This game does look interesting. There's a lot of videos out already that can tell you how to play the game. I haven't had a chance to check those out for myself yet, but make sure to check out the campaign if you want to know more. And the first game I have for you releases on August 3rd, and it's called Vowl. And this is a fast-paced word game, and this plays 2 to 5 players and takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play. Each round, players are going to be racing against each other to guess words that have their vowels removed. As you gain more and more points, you're going to be forced to draw extra, more difficult cards that you're going to have to guess as well. I really like the art for this. It's really clean, and it's by an artist that I've seen very active in the board game community, and that's 𝗚𝗺𝗲 𝗟𝗶. And it doesn't look like you'll have to worry too much about running into the same words over multiple games, because there's going to be over 400 unique cards that you can play throughout the game. And the next game I have for you also releases on August 3rd, and it's called Redline, the tactical card combat game. And this plays 2 to 4 players and takes 25 to 45 minutes to play. And this game looks like it takes the spirit of a traditional war game, but then packs that experience into a very quick to play card game instead. The battlefield in this is going to exist in the form of different mission cards that grant bonuses when captured. Players are going to be giving mission orders using secret dials before combat, which allows for them to set up maneuvers such as flanks, feints, and ambushes. You can also rush your units through to try and attack your opponent's deck directly. This game is going to incorporate deck construction, dice rolling, simultaneous action selection, and zone control. You'll also be able to upgrade your units with some special upgrade cards, and you win the game when you've completed 5 missions. And the next game I have for you releases on August 4th, and it's called Tale Story and plays 2 to 4 players and takes about 20 to 45 minutes to play. And in this game, players are taking on the roles of different pets, and you're each going to have your own deck of 15 event cards, and you're going to be doing whatever you can to try and get through your deck as quickly as possible, because each time you do that, you get to remove 1 card as an achievement, and then you reshuffle your deck and start over. Whoever reaches 4 achievements first wins the game. The next game also releases on August 4th, and it's called Bushido, the card game. And this plays 2 to 6 players and takes about 20 to 40 minutes to play. And in this game, each player is a samurai potential trying to be the first to be recruited. And on your turn, you're going to be rolling dice and deciding if you want to collect virtues, which are needed to win the game, or to activate daimyo abilities, which alter the game to your advantage. Virtue cards can also modify the game when collected, and you can also use your focus to try and force rerolls on your opponents to try and alter their outcomes. This game incorporates Take That, set collection, and of course, dice rolling. And the next game I have for you also releases on August 4th, and it's called Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape. And this is a game by 𝗚𝗺𝗲 𝗟𝗀, and this is the sequel to Massive Darkness. Massive Darkness 2 is based on the same rule set, but is going to be playing quite a lot differently, as they've completely analyzed the entire rule set to make different improvements on issues that players had with the original game. Regarding asymmetry, each hero class now plays out very differently from the others, each with their own unique gear, setup, and playstyle. They're also going to have a unique talent tree and special ability. Monsters have also been completely redesigned, and even small minions can now deal significant damage. And monsters will now be showing up with a leader accompanied by a number of minions equal to the player count. The shadow rules have also been redesigned, because now when a hero attacks from a shadowed area, they also add a special die to their roll. This is a special die that can increase your mana or attack hits, but above all, it can also trigger your ultimate ability. It looks like there's also been a lot of work to simplify the setup of this game compared to its predecessor. The box is going to contain at least 10 one-shot quests, but then it's also going to include a campaign for you and your friends to play. And this one's going to be my pick of the week. And I do feel a little bit of remorse for selecting a game from such a huge company such as 𝗚𝗺𝗃. But if my research is correct, I really do like all the effort that they've put into this game. And I also read that a lot of this was inspired by some of the mechanisms in 𝗚𝗏 Death May Die, which is one of my favorite co-op games. After I did my research, this really took this from a game I had zero interest in into something that I'll definitely be taking a look at. 𝗚𝗺𝗃 doesn't divulge too much information before their release, so you'll just have to check it out once it launches. But if you weren't a fan of the original Massive Darkness, it looks like this one's going to play a lot differently, so I definitely recommend checking it out. Also on August 4th, we have Arcana Rising by 𝗚𝗺𝗃 Games, and this plays 2 to 6 players and takes about 20 to 60 minutes to play. And in this game, players are spellcasters trying to build up a magical engine to power the different artifacts that they find to help gain points and win the game. This game uses card drafting, and when a hand of cards gets passed to you, you can decide to either take a card and include that into your engine, or you can choose to discard a card from that hand, which will then power your engine and give you the benefits that your engine has to offer at that time. As the game plays, the different phases of the moon are going to pass by, which are going to amplify different spells more than others. So timing your spells is going to be critical as you play this game. Different spells are going to fall into different categories, and these are going to be charms, herbology, blood arts, potions, alchemy, and artifacts. And only a single type of spell can be cast for each turn. This game ends after 3 rounds, and players are going to calculate their score based on the different artifacts that they've collected, and the person with the most points wins the game. Also on the 4th, we have 𝗚𝗚𝗲 𝗟𝗶𝗀𝘀, and this is by Bezier Games, the same company that did make One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and this plays 3 to 25 players and takes 30 to 60 minutes to play. Like traditional werewolf games, 𝗚𝗚𝗲 𝗟𝗶𝗀𝘀 is going to have a bunch of different roles and a moderator to run the game, but 𝗚𝗚𝗲 𝗟𝗶𝗀𝘀 is going to rework this in a few different ways. This is going to come with a free moderator assisted app, and this app is also going to allow players to scan their faces and roles using a QR code. Each card is also going to come with more info about your specific role so that you can use that to try and decide how you want to interact with everyone else at the table. This version is also going to come with a new role balancing system. This is going to have optional rules and roles that are going to make the game a little more difficult for the different teams. It's also worth noting that the core box comes with enough cards to play 3 games simultaneously. If you haven't played any werewolf games before, this is a deduction game where players take on different roles, and it incorporates trader mechanics, variable player powers, voting, and player elimination. Also on the 4th, we have Color My Kritters, and this plays 2 to 6 players and takes about 20 to 40 minutes to play. And the goal of this game is to collect different critters and collect different brushes and mixing bowls and colors, and then color those critters to gain points. This game is a classic deck building card game, and it is designed to include younger players. You're going to start with a few cards, and every round you're going to have a chance to buy another card from the table. I don't know for sure, but in the images I've seen, it looks like the cards are provided both in colored and uncolored critters, so I can only assume that these are double-sided, and when you complete a card, you flip it over to the colored side. You'll be able to use completed critter cards to buy more cards, and at the end of the game, you'll tally your score based on the cards you have, and the players with the most points wins the game. Also on the 4th, we have Gem Hunt, and this plays 2 to 4 players and takes about 60 to 120 minutes to play. And this game is an open-world adventure tabletop board game, and players are different treasure hunters that are going to be competing to complete different quests and facing different dangers and opportunities in order to collect gems and win the game. This is a turn-based game, and on each player's turn they get to choose a movement and an action. Actions can be anything like mining for gems, digging for oysters, or cutting your rough gems into faceted gems. You can also perform actions to perform different transactions in different locations, complete quests, play one of the mini games, or draw a fate card. This game is going to incorporate area movement, card drafting, dice rolling, a hexagon grid, and once per game abilities. And the next game also releases on August 4th, and it's called The Quest Kids Matching Adventure. And this takes the classic card game of picture matching and adds a twist so that every time when you match specific tiles, a different event is going to happen based on the type of tiles that you've matched. Some tiles help you recruit heroes and give you special abilities, while other tiles might send you on an adventure to scare away bad guys and earn treasure. The different decisions you make will gain you stars throughout the game, and once you've matched all the tiles, the game ends and the player with the most stars wins the game. And the last game I have for you is also being released on the 4th, and it's called Thrones, and this plays 2 players and takes 20 to 90 minutes to play. And in this game, players are competing against each other on a 9x9 board in a game that looks similar to chess. The main difference being that players are going to be putting a screen between them when they set up the board, and you're actually going to be putting down different tiles to dictate the terrain on your side of the board, and then you're also going to be putting out your pieces in secret behind the screen. Once players have completed setting up their sides of the board, they remove the screen and gameplay begins. The different tiles that players have put out are going to affect the different pieces' abilities to move, attack, and defend themselves. And players are going to be competing to try and move their throne piece into their opponent's fortress. First player to do that wins the game. And that's all I have for you this week. Don't forget to leave a comment to enter the contest I mentioned at the start of the video. And feel free to like and subscribe because I release these each week. And if you really want to help out the channel, make sure to check out my Patreon because it's the best way to support my work here. I appreciate you watching the video, and until next time, keep that shelf cluttered and the table full.